Hello everyone, I'm Victor from Cobry. I'm the development lead, and here with me is Chad from Sheetgo. Chad is the head of product partnerships, is that right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm one of the co-founders as well.
of course, and he's going to show us the capabilities of Sheetgo and some of the problems it solves. Chad, would you mind giving us a little introduction?
Sure. To myself, to Sheetgo, to everything.
To everything, I guess, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So Sheetgo. I'm one of the co-founders, and Sheetgo as a software, what we do is we enable users to create workflows based on the data that they have in spreadsheets. So it's a way to scale or supersize your spreadsheets. We know that spreadsheets are the preferred software for most people for most day-to-day tasks. And so we give users the ability to take the software they're already using and expand that to manage more day-to-day processes and automate a lot of manual tasks.
All right, perfect. So that was a very high level overview of Sheetgo itself and the tool and yourself. So although you've mentioned this on a higher level, but what inherent problem does Sheetgo aim to solve within G Suite? Because Sheetgo is a primarily G Suite focused tool, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we know that one of the hardest tools to adopt within G Suite is Google Sheets itself, due to some inherent limitations with the functionality, with the size of the spreadsheet. And so we give the users the ability to superpower their spreadsheets. So not only can they do a lot of the things they could previously do in Excel, but they can do a lot of more things, like any task that you have manual where you're copying, pasting data, or where you need to share data with your colleagues that maybe you're doing right now via email, cut and paste, etc. Now you can automate that and do it in a way that's gonna save you, hours of time every week.
Perfect. So that's great. That's a fantastic overview of what Sheetgo does. So to put it into a user's perspective, would you be able to give us maybe an example of how an organization might be able to implement and use Sheetgo on a sort of day-to-day and also on a kind of a business management level and a business management basis?
Sure, yeah, I can give you a couple. We see a lot with finance. A really, really common use case is a lot of companies, their ERP is great for recording their actual expenses, but they do all of their planning and forecasting in spreadsheets. And what happens is they do this one time in an Excel file or Google Sheet, and it becomes stale. So we've seen a lot of users make their forecast dynamic and live based on the actual. So they extract data from their ERP that will go to a Google Sheet or Excel file saved on Google Drive. And then using Sheetgo, they'll connect that to their forecast. And they'll be able to update their future expenses based on what happened in the past. Another common use case we see all the time is with project management. So the ops director, ops manager will organize all of the tasks in a single spreadsheet that he or she owns, and they want to distribute these tasks to the colleagues within the organization. And so they'll use our feature that enables you to filter and distribute. So in column A, I have Victor, I have Chad, and I can distribute tasks to Victor and Chad. So they'll see only their tasks as a mirror of what's in the master spreadsheet without accessing the rest of the data that could potentially be sensitive or they just don't need to know.
I love that about Sheetgo, how it's not only a sort of import range, you're not only importing data, but you can also distribute data. I think that's very powerful.
Right. The quick history of the company, we created an ERP based on Google Sheets. We used import range for everything, but really we broke it. We got to its limits, and it wasn't serving our needs. And so we created Sheetgo to power this ERP that we had for another company of 100-something employees. We give users the ability to create applications to manage day-to-day tasks without the need to code. All you really need is some basic spreadsheet skills, and you can do pretty much anything with a combination of spreadsheets for Sheetgo. We've been talking a lot about Google Sheets, but we also work with Excel, CSV, TSV files, and we're on Google Drive, we're on Dropbox, we're on OneDrive, and as of a few weeks ago, we're on SharePoint as well.
Oh, wow.
So some of our key features, we enable you to schedule automatic updates. This is one of the advantages versus import range, which we mentioned. Import range is kind of constantly running, which really weighs down your spreadsheets. But with Sheetgo, you schedule when you want to update that, whether it's hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly. Depends a lot on if it's a day-to-day task or some type of report. So we can schedule automatic updates. we can filter data, which is one of the examples I mentioned. If I need to share data from a source with multiple stakeholders, and I want to share a subset of the data, then I can filter on that. We have a built-in filter function, and we can also use query language if you're a little more advanced on your tech skills. We can consolidate data. So if you have multiple, say, distributed databases, spreadsheets that look similar header row, and you want to get that into a single place, that's when you use our consolidate feature to bring multiple sources into a single destination. And the opposite of that, we can distribute data with just kind of a quick setup and click of the mouse. If we'll create a unique spreadsheet based on a variable in a predefined column, and we can send data to each of those unique spreadsheets. And finally, a lot of our users, what they use it for at the end of the day is as a backend for their company dashboard or their portal. And so they're feeding data from their network of spreadsheets to a very clear and concise dashboard, which is what they use in, say, their weekly meetings to make decisions. So yeah, I'll show you guys really quickly how we use the consolidate feature. So we're looking at the Sheetgo web app, but you can see I have this folder already open. I have sales leads from 5 different sales reps. You can see there's both Excel and Google Sheets file. And in the case where I'm a sales manager and I need to get this into a single place, I can use our consolidate from folder function. So I'm gonna create a new workflow. We'll just do I'll connect here, and then I'm gonna select as the source, I'm gonna select the folder. So
what this will do is scoop up any spreadsheet that is supported by Sheetgo from within that folder,
right,
and dynamically pick up every single one from that folder, right?
Yeah, and if we add, so if we add new files to that folder, we have a new sales rep in this case, it'll bring that in automatically without needing to reconnect, let's say. And also if you delete files from that folder, they'll be gone.
Perfect.
So I can do the summary tab, click continue. I won't go through all the details, but this is where you would filter, where we can filter by a condition, or we can filter applying a query. And I'll send the data to a Google Sheet. So I can select an existing file on my drive. So if I already had, say, a sales dashboard and I need to bring this data there, I'd select that. Or I can just create a new spreadsheet, which I'll do here. Finish and save. And you see so what it's doing now, when I select to create a new spreadsheet, it's just creating a new blank spreadsheet on my Google Drive. You'll see in a few seconds, it'll actually render the spreadsheet within Sheetgo. So you have the ability within Sheetgo to work with the spreadsheets that are in your workflows, of course, but these are also spreadsheets that are on your Google Drive, so you can leave Sheetgo and work with them as well. But you can see really quickly, if I click on workflow view, it's gonna show me the network of data I've created. So I'm just bringing data from these sales leads into this new spreadsheet that I created, this new Google Sheet on my Google Drive. So cool. So yeah, so after we gave it a few seconds, we saw all the leads from the 5 different sources loaded into a single database from both the Excel and the Google Sheets file. And so from here, the sales manager in this case, they can create their report, they can create their dashboard, or at a minimum, they're able to track the status of their leads that their different sales reps are bringing in. And so that's our consolidate from folders feature, one of several features that we have, but I think it's pretty illustrative of what you can potentially do with Sheetgo.
I think it was an awesome rundown of what Sheetgo is all about and what problems it solves. And I'd like to thank Chad very much for taking the time to jump on with us and to talk to us about Sheetgo and the product. Now, if you're interested in the tool, you can reach out to us and we can help you deploy Sheetgo within your organization. And Chad, how can our viewers get in touch with on your end, with yourselves for Sheetgo help?
Yeah, I mean, if you install Sheetgo from our site, from sheetgo.com, and if you're in the product, we have a chat feature. You can click on the question mark, you click on the little bubble, and we're online during US and European business hours. You can always get in touch with us for help.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Chad.
Cool. Thanks, Victor.